What else did you get? I know we talked a little bit before the recording started, but what have you gotten out of the book so far with what you have read?
Well, that a lot of times we go along life and in our own thoughts, and there's things out there that we don't pay attention to as much as we can, and paying attention to other things rather than things that are always in our mind. Like sometimes, like I'm a thinker, so when I'm driving, I'm thinking, thinking of what I'm going to do, and thinking of this or that, or I pray. But then a lot of times that takes away the focus from looking around you. So I've looked around me more, and I've noticed things around me more than I normally do.
Like what? Give us an example.
Like I was waiting for my son to get off work one day, and I just went into a Wendy's, and kind of like it was like a dead end of the parking lot. So there was just this wall there, and then just some trees and not much. But then I started looking on the above the wall and looking at the trees, and then I start noticing the leaves on the trees, how differently they grow. They kind of remind me of bananas, but they were like growing like a bunch of little leaves, but in the shape of bananas, like the way they were formed. And then behind the tree, I noticed some beautiful, like colorful orangey flowers growing. And I thought, oh, this is so beautiful. And I never would have paid attention to those things. So when my son gets in the car, I told him, I said, look, I'm noticing this tree. It's different. Reminds me of banana trees. And then I noticed the flowers behind. So I pointed out to him, I go, I never seen that type of tree, and then the type of flowers. And so it was nice. It was enjoyable. Then I started feeling the wind coming through, and just like very relaxing. I just got off work, so I just took that moment to enjoy myself while I was waiting for my son to relax, and then just see these things. And I noticed a lady parked next to me and cars passing by. So it was really nice. It was a nice moment.
Good. And quite honestly, that's the whole, it's those simple things that can change our day from having, or even attitude from negative to positive. It's just those simple things. But I used to be the same way. I was a thinker too, and I would just think and think and drive and drive and drive. And it wasn't until someone recommended to me to start just listening to music. And now I'm to the point where my kids get so upset with me, but now I'm to the point a commercial comes on the radio, I'm like, change, 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 change. I don't want to hear no commercial. Give me some tunes, give me some tunes, you know? And but there's also not just listening to music, but listening to like the audiobooks. I know some of the newer cars and stuff, or even on your cell phones, they have the little adapters that you can plug into like the tape decks and stuff for those of us who actually still have tape decks in our cars. But CDs, different CDs that we can purchase, something that kind of doesn't just help with our attitude and changing our day from a negative to a positive one, but also feeds us and fills us at the same time. And quite honestly, I mean, this book personally for me did a very good job of that. You know, it's feeding me as it's teaching me. And I don't know if you're experiencing the same thing or not, but I thoroughly enjoy. And I do believe in keeping things simple.
And this book, it really explains it.
It just gets down to the nitty gritty and does it. And I mean, just case in point with this next section that we're going over, you know, when you take your thankful walk, you know, you might not have taken a walk with that experience, but you were sitting in the car noticing things that you had not noticed in the past. And so it's not necessarily that we have to just take the thank you walk, but just to notice the things around us and be thankful for those small, simple things. I mean, life just, it's about keeping it simple.